Okay. All right. I'll start reading. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Oh my god, this is far better than Simulator, Steven says as he sits in the cockpit of his own Y-Wing Starfighter Interceptor on the deck of the USS Yorktown, awaiting his turn to take off. Tiger 4, clear for takeoff. Stevens pushed back in his cushioned ejection seat by the G-forces created by the magnetic launch controls of the massive Starcraft carrier and flung out into the void, followed by his four wingmen. They form up behind him, and as he joins the 200 other stealth Y-wing and U-wing fighters and set for this special operation. Vermilion Group. Form up on my wings, as he says over his comms channel. He looks back as best he can as his three wingmen and one woman form up on his wings in a tight V formation. Call out, Vermilions. Hang on, sorry. Tiger 3 reporting in. The British accented female pilot from Earth calls out. Tiger 8 reporting in. Calls the next male voice, followed by a gazillion voice. Tiger 40, Tiger 4, 5 reporting in. Only Centauri Prime pilot calls out. All three are formed up on each side of a tight V with him at the apex. All Tiger groups report in. Comes the command from the ComNet. Vermilion Group, ready and able, sir. Steven says a little nervous. From this point forward, complete radio silence. Only text via your screens. Tiger leader calls out before the line goes dead. As it gets 11 clear signals from of readiness from the other 11 groups in Tiger Squadron. Mm-hmm. Vermilion, Puma groups. I want you two to stick close to me and my group. Understood? Tiger leader texts over the glass panel in front of Steven in text form. Understood. Steven texted back via text. Good luck, Steven. Mina texts him. Her face was on the glass screen in front of him, in front of Steven. You too, Rena. See it back on Centauri Prime. He texts back, giving her a thumbs up. Just the screen goes black. A puzzled look on Rena's face. Thumbs up. My lord, we are picking up a large fleet of enemy rebel vessel warships on our scanners. Fleet Admiral Natira Halko says, walking up behind the Dark Ninja on the Dark Star command deck. How many enemy vessels? Levnosky asks, not to turn to face the Admiral. 500 capital ships of all classes and a couple thousand of their smaller fighters, my lord, the Admiral says. They have a vastly superior fleet to ours. Should we retreat? Deploy the fleet and assemble the fighters, Admiral, the Dark Ninja says. Yes, my lord, Halka says, bowing. She backs away and briskly walks to a communications station along one bulkhead, talking into the handset quickly. Distance to enemy fleet, Levnosky asks in a raspy, regulated voice. 2.68, my lord, comes the instant response. A computer voice. Prepare to deploy and fire the main weapon, she says flatly. She can already see a targeting solution on one of the 5-kilometer long Metatron colony ships. 75% to the main gun. Alright. Snack break. Sorry. She's seen what an ion fusion main super cannon can do to a planet. God only knows what it can do to a ship at full power. An artificially created black hole powers the entire station. The energy beam tore through the Earth and out the other side to take out 40 Imperial vessels, including her own super battlecruiser. Halko, the rebel mole who supplied the copies for the princess to get the Dark Star plan codes. I'm starting over. Halko, the rebel mole who supplied the codes for the princess to get to the Dark Star plans, stands behind the Dark Ninja to one side. She hopes the rebels have found a weakness in the battle stations somewhere in the plans. Otherwise, the rebellion will be over in hours. Not good. She plans to get off the station and move to her battle cruiser if the battle goes badly for the Imperial fleet. She can command the station from there if need be. She could fire the super ion fusion cannon from that cruiser. We have enemy vessels on our scopes, Admiral. Captain Ian Hope calls from his position next to Fleet Admiral Tukra. How many, Ian? Fleet Admiral Tukra asks in his raspy lizard voice. 360 so far, but no sign of the Dark Star, Hope says, as he reads a readout coming up from CIC one deck below. I'm reading 345 of their bulk battle cruisers and 4 of their big super cruisers. Sir, you got them outnumbered, Commander Stella Bond says from her position next to the Admiral, opposite the Captain. Call the fleet to battle ready, Captain. Tukra calls to his first officer. I'm on our port or starboard sides facing them. Please give them our broadsides before they can maneuver into position. Ooh, crossing the T. Morse code lights are seen across the fleet as all vessels are brought together at battle stations. No radio signals, just good old Morse code. At the same time, the fleet's four fleet carriers continue flight operations, launching their entire fleet of 1500 U-wing, Y-wing, and newer, nimbler T-wing replacements, and the ubiquitous U-wing fighter bomber, armed with their Mark 97B torpedoes. As the 1,500 rebel fighters zoom past, the maneuvering fleet of rebel ships begins. The fleet of 1,500 Imperial Scorpion fighters plow head-on into the rebel fighters as the Dark Star finally makes its appearance on the field of battle. Okay. But as they engage in combat, the primary weapon of the Dark Star opened up, wiping out one Metatron colony ship with one shot. So with that one shot, the Battle of the Void begins. Sorry, hang on a sec. The battle has begun, Your Highness, Septetrix says. I see that, Julia says, nodding. She gets up and heads for the back of the Eagle's cockpit and the wide open pressure door. As she's seen the green light signal, the main fleet attacks the station from the front. The green light flashes 3 times, then one holds for one long time. Hang on. I need to take a break anyway. And plus, I'm hungry. take a break from reading for a little bit. I read 3 pages so far, so. Okay. Keep going. First subscriber. Thank you, my friend. Okay, back to the book. Diversion is underway, Dietrich says. God, I sure hope this works, Captain. Julia says as she runs out through the open hatch. And Natuk closes the hatch behind her with a press of a switch on his right side. We all do, Princess, Sepp says to himself. Julia joins the small contingent of her guard in the main crew compartment. H was wearing a shoulder pad EVA suit. That's modular. Just press a button and the holster just covers your body instantly in seconds. And provides life support in case of decompression. And along one wall, line of 6 Q3R2 repair droids stand by. The med droid stands by at the med station just behind the cockpit and to its left. My left, sorry. This left. Okay, men, stand by. She says as she sits at the remote gun turret controls on the starboard side. The battle has begun. How soon till we'll begin to be behind the station, Your Highness? One guard asks. Hour, maybe less. She replies. She's grateful to the techies back home who installed a cloaking device in Eagle's computer system. Otherwise, the fighters would be going blind and unescorted. Now they'll wait in hyperspace for the signal to go in, followed by their charges of 100 interceptors and fighter bombers. Excuse me. Dropping out of hyperspace, hopefully behind the moon-sized battle station. I hate flying. I like that one. I like that line. I hate flying. I hate waiting. I like that too. I feel a disturbance in the Shaki, Lubnowski says to herself. My lord? Halko asks, confused. We call the 500 Scorpion Combat Air Patrol. Now, Commander. The Dark Ninja growls. And deploy him to the rear of the station. Now. We are already engaged in the fight to our front, my lord, Halka says. They are needed to defend the station there. She points to the screen above and in front of them. That is a diversion. Do as I say now, Commander. Levnosky says flatly. The true attack is going to happen on the icy side of the station behind us. Yes, my lord, Halka says. All right. What do you think so far? I feel confident now. I like to use my hands when I talk. It's been going to do boof and stuff like that. I feel less nervous than I did before when I started reading these books. Reading this book. But now, I love reading my book aloud to my friends. All right, moving on. We go in 1 minute. Steve reads on the glass control panel in front of him, just under the heads-up display HUD mount. He knew that his friends and everyone in the Eagle and Tiger squadrons were getting this message simultaneously. He arms his wing blaster cannons and the missiles in the two pods in his forward fuselage and between the engine housings. He has two AIM-94 Sparrow 2 missiles armed with dark matter warheads. He has to conserve them for if he gets to the core. None of the FB-314S stealth U-wings and none of the FB-314S U-wing stealths don't make it. In addition to a standard complement of SSM-120Z and AMR SSM missiles, and its complement of 12 AIM-9Z short-range missiles. The Grumman FB-314S U-wing fighter bomber is a heavy bomber meant for torpedo launch and level bombing. Something that Y-wing can do in a pinch. Some pilots have started to call the U-wing the Goonie Bird. That. Yes, forward wing, twin nose fuselage, because it's shaped like a U, hence the name U-wing. It also has a socket for an excuse me. In the forward twin nose fuselage are two heavy 75mm blaster cannons. It's called the U-wing due to its unique U-shaped fuselage. It has a socket for an astromech to be mated to the parent aircraft. And it can be used for escort, refueling, cargo hauling, and strafing purposes. The FB-314S is the stealth variant of the standard FB-314 U-wing. It's propelled by the same twin engine mounts used on the Y-wing, fitted outboard of the fuselage. Under the tapered delta wings, also carrying two Arlight 35mm blaster cannons in the leading edges of each wing. The wings are shoulder mounted. Each U-wing in this flight carries a Mark 97B torpedo. Centerline mount under the cockpit. But these Mark 97Bs carries. These Mark 97B carries a deadly payload armed with a dark matter warhead. I don't know why I came up with that idea, but Roll out, he receives a text a moment later as the minute passes. As he dreams of Julia's first true love. Sorry. He pushes the engines forward as he drops out of hyperspace. He pushes the engine throttles forward as it drops out of hyperspace on top of a swarm of Imperial Scorpion fighters. With his guns, he takes out 6 enemy fighters before the others can respond, followed on his heels by the rest of the Vermilion group, taking out another dozen more Scorpions. I love the Scorpion. It's my favorite fighter. Originally was going to be my original Y-Wing. Before the Imps, as the rebels love to call the Imperial forces, can even respond, 200 Scorpions are taken out for the loss of not a single Y-Wing. He blasts away with the cannon, saving his missiles till they're needed, pretty much leveling the playing field for the rebels. He reaches over to his port control panel and switches off the clicking device. Just as he tangles face to face with a Scorpion, but before the Imp can respond, the Scorpion is nothing but an expanding ball of fire and dust. We got them with their pants down, ladies, the Tiger leader calls over the radio. Breaking radio silence, lock and load. Do you like it so far? So come on, 3. All right. Moving on. Only 3 more pages in the chapter. Just as I thought, Levnosky growls through her breathing mask, and rebels have managed to slip in behind the station and are attacking us from the rear. Release what Scorpions we have left to deal with this new threat. Now, Commander. We have no reserves left, my lord, Halka says as she watches the battle raging at the station's front. Only to now realize they're being attacked from the rear by a new threat. We are now engaged with the rebels to our front. She watches as another crippled Imperial battle cruiser moves out of formation, then collides with another, and both explode. As the station's massive main gun fires off another shot, large rebel cruiser is nothing but expanding ball of fire and debris. Damn it, get my personal score being prepped and ready for the flight on the flight line now. The Dark Ninja growls, storming out of the command center. Some 300 or so cruisers he commanded, about a third were crippled and out of action or obliterated, compared to the rebels' 18. Not a good sign. Right. Okay. As Levnosky storms out of the command center, Halko gets on the radio to the hangar deck to alert the ground crews down there to have her fighter ready as soon as she gets there. She's in no mood to wait. The Dark Ninja, Levnosky, storms through the ship, ripping droids apart just by her own dark arts skill, killing a few unfortunate officers unlucky enough did not get out of the way fast enough, just by the will of her mind, never laying a hand on her victims. That's not good. She reaches the central hangar bay, deserted for the most part, but for one all over jet black painted Imperial Scorpion fighter, always on standby at all hours of the day. Her ground crew, handpicked as the best of the best at their jobs, worked tirelessly to have her fighter ready at a moment's notice. The heavily modified version of the Scorpion fighter bomber still features its fuselage-mounted 75mm cannons, in addition to two 45mm Arlight blaster cannons and wing mounts forward of the twin-engine mounts. Unlike the Scorpions, her Scorpion is also fitted with stolen G-18 hyperspace engines and an astromech droid fitted into the missile bomb bay between the engines behind her. The guns were non-standard issue 35mm cannons, similar to those on the Viper, but the 45mm blasters have been developed in conjunction with their mount, in addition to the twin 75mm heavy blaster cannons flanking either side of the slim forward fuselage. Is she ready? Is she ready? She asks as he climbs up a narrow ladder into the narrow cockpit. One of her all-female ground crew straps her in. Then she hooks her internal comms system to the fighter's comms. Sorry. Fuel tanks are topped off and primed, my lord. Her crew chief says, nodding. Weapons charged and primed for combat, my lord. Her armor calls out. Onboard systems online and working optimally, my lord. Another voice calls out. Engines primed and on idle standby, my lord. The final voice calls from the hangar deck. Okay, get out of here to an escape pod now, Levnovsky says as she lowers the bubble canopy above her head. Sorry. And feels the engine vibrating behind her. She also has an astromech droid built into the forward weapons pod behind. Oh, sorry. She also has an astromech droid built into the former weapons pod behind and between the engines. Her personal ground crew climbs or jumps down to the hangar deck below, then rushes off to find an exit off the station. As the Dark Ninja throttles up the twin General Electric J318 hyperjet engines for takeoff, then walks off and zips out of the cavernous hangar through a ray shield and into space to be joined by a pair of Scorpions. Okay, we're getting there. 2 more pages. I will take care of these rebels myself, she says to her wingman. Her wingmen waggle their wings in acknowledgement. Beware, Tiger Leader calls out just before being cut off and destroyed by an all-black Scorpion fighter and its 2 wingmen. His Viper now an expanding ball of fire and dust and smoke. Where the devil did that come from? Stephen hears from one of the U-wing pilots calling over the radio. And then he is taken up by the same black Scorpion. The U-wings are no match for this new threat. Everyone, stick with your wingman. This pilot is a fanatic, so watch your backs. Stephen says over the radio. Vermilion Group, report in. Tiger 3 here. Here's the English voice of the woman piloting Tiger 3 say. Tiger 12, you still with me? He asks, calling for his friend Rena. Right beside you, Tiger 4. Rena says off to the port side, wigwagging her wings. Yeah, starboard side, Tiger 3. All right. Hold on a second. Yes. Sorry, phone call spam. Okay, sorry about that. I am taking command of Tiger Squadron as of now, Stephen calls over his comms. All Tiger and Hawk squadrons are to form up around me. Any Jaguar or Lynx squadrons form up with us. We're going in. In all, Stephen now commands some 25 fighters in all, along with 5 fighter bombers in a last-ditch effort. Tiger Leader had given command to Tiger Squadron to Tiger 4 if he should fall. Stephen spirals down to just above the icy surface of the station, dodging blaster bolts from AA guns, gun turrets, and towers along the surface of the station, using some of the Y-wings and a few U-wings in the process, followed by scores of Scorpion fighters. While high above, Eagle and scores of Vipers and the Condor fly cover for the Tigers and the other squadrons diving for the station surface below. All right. Stephen skims along the surface of the station, dodging blaster bolts as well as the icy surface features of the station. But he loses several Vipers to AAA fire and the Scorpions in hot pursuit. Okay. Last page. Still, Tiger 3 and 12 remain on his status sides. Tiger Leader, target shaft directly ahead, set calls over his radio, 600 meters out and closing fast. Roger that, Scout 1. Stephen calls back. Even through his infrared sights built into his flight helmet, he can see the heat plumes coming from the large cone-shaped structure ahead as he also watches blaster bolts plow into the icy surface ahead, taking out enemy gun turrets. These shots are coming from high above. Tiger 4, you'll have to do this one on your own. We cannot follow you in. Understood, Sep. Stephen says as he pulls back on the stick to gain altitude and loses almost all the rest of his wingmen. But for Tiger 3 and Tiger 12, it's a lot of losses. You can see the vent in that it's just barely large enough for a Viper or a U-wing to enter and navigate the tunnel safely. He and 4 other Vipers dive into the tunnel, followed by 3 U-wings. The all-black Scorpion takes one out as it dives in after him and his wingmen. Good luck, kid, Sep calls as he dives into the near pitch-black tunnel. Come back to us, Julia chimes in suddenly. I will do my best to, Princess, Stephen says, not making any promises. Scout 1 pulled back to a safe distance now. Roger that, Tiger Leader, Dietrich says as the signal fades to static for the most part, due to the closeness of the tunnel walls. There's a lot of interference caused by the tunnel walls. Just make sure to micro jump as soon as you get out of the station. I will not make any promises, but I'll do my best, Stephen says. Done. What do you think? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Hiki? Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful. readings. Sorry, a little horse that's reading so much. My shortest chapter so far that I've read is chapter 3. Thanks for your feedback, though. Oh, hang on one second. I'll be right back. Okay, that's not what I was looking for. All right, I'll be right in. Yeah. I was going to type this, but I changed my mind. I do appreciate you listening. Thank you, my friend. Till I get a few more people to watch me, I'm not going to add any mods. I'm thinking if Alfredo catches one, I'll make him a mod, but I'll ask first. Unless you'd like to be one, then I'll make you one. But until then, right now I'm gonna wait till you're the only person who's actually caught one of my streams live. And I guess it's just because there's a time of day I decided to do this reading. But thank you for your sitting in and listening. Well, I want to call it a day, but thank you for listening. I appreciate you listening to my readings. I'll be back on tomorrow. At least I'll try to be back on by tomorrow. Can't promise what time yet. because I also listen to a stream at 3 o'clock, but that's a Sims 3 stream I like to listen to. He's a good guy, and I love Sims 3. I appreciate you listening. I only have the first two chapters of my handwritten version on Instagram, but I haven't done any of the books here yet. I could do that, but it'll just take me a while. So just give me time, all right? I promise. Yes, I just figured out how to print my book out. Once I figure out how to email it out, then I'll start sending in emails. I never thought of that, but I'll try that. I'd have to download Instagram to my computer. I have it on my phone, but not on my computer. If you understand what I mean. I have to- Sorry, a little hoarse. Okay. So I guess 3 p.m. is a good time to do my live streams. You think? So I'm on this mess. I have my drawings in here. So try to find my book that has all the early drawings on of my books, my stuff. But I don't know what happened to it. Thanks. Say this. I want to say thank you for supporting me. You've been a lot of help. It's because of people like you as a person, and Alfredo, and my friend, I don't know how to pronounce her name, ONG, who lives in Boston. And I'm actually doing these readings. I'm not a very public person. I don't like to talk in public or do something like this. I'm very nervous when I do it. When I first started, you probably tell that. But now I feel open and I can talk. I'm happy about it. I love reading. I love talking. But thank you. You're right there. Because when I first started reading in this book, I was like, I hadn't even printed the book out. I actually had a copy, another printed copy. I gave to my nephew to read. His boyfriend, he's got the only other copy of my book as it is. I made a few typing errors and stuff like that in the book. I had to go back in and fix them before I could publish them. But I think once I get it all done, I'm going to publish through Amazon. Actually, we might do it either tomorrow at 2 or maybe after 2 p.m. or after 4 p.m. Depends on how the book goes, what time it is, what time I feel like it. See what happens here at home, I mean. Let me start over. I'm typing this all down. I should just tell you this pertinent, like I'm doing. I usually do at 3 o'clock on Wednesdays. I watch a live stream with this guy who does plays Sims 3. He lives in England. He's good and he's fun to watch. I like watching his streams. I play Sims 3 too, by the way. So after 3 o'clock, I'm gonna do my live stream, but I should be done reading this book, chapter 5, before 3 o'clock. So I guess 2 o'clock would be a better time to do it. What do you think? Yeah, thanks. As you can guess, I love playing video games, but I'm mostly a Sims 3 fan. Just started playing Sims 2 recently, but I've been playing Sims 3 for some years now. I love the game. I'm gonna call it a day for now. You see you tomorrow then? She says. He says. You're welcome. Have a good night or have a good day. It's day for me. We've had rain here for a while. Thunderstorm. Bad one. But it's gone through now. But you have a good night. Be safe. Good night, my friend. Bye. And peace. Bye all. How long?